to subscribe to our Patreon.
Be sure to subscribe to our Patreon. Be sure to join our Patreon. If your hair could move on its own, what mischief would it cause? If my hair could move on its own, it'd probably all fall off, and it'd be like, oh, you're bald now. Deal with it. And then that would be the mischief that it would cause. What would your eyebrows say if they could talk? They'd say, we're perfect, and I'm so grateful that you've never touched us. I mean, look at that. I mean, girls dream of having eyebrows like this, you know? They're drawing it on with a fucking pencil and Sharpie, but alright, my bad. If your shoes could swap places with someone else's, whose would you pick? I don't know, because when you go bowling, you're wearing somebody else's shoes, and it's always pretty gross. I don't know if I'd do that. Whisper the title of a book your shadow is writing about you. Stop turning the lights off during sex would probably be the title of the book, because that's where the shadow disappears. He's like, I can't even see this, you know. What's the silliest thing your reflection has ever done? You ever look at yourself in the mirror and you start crying? That's something silly. If your stomach could hum a tune, what song would it choose? Probably the Law and Order theme, the dun 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 dun, bum 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 bum, bum bum. Okay. What would your shoes complain about after a long day? Honestly, your shoes should be grateful that you're wearing them all the time. They would be like, thank you for wearing me all day. If your left hand suddenly spoke, what insult or compliment would it give? It would probably be like, how come you never use me, you know? It'd probably be like, can you start using me? Like, what am I even here for? And it'd probably get jealous of the right hand, you know? Be like, stop using your right hand for everything. Name the mischief your chair gets up to when you're gone. I don't know. I don't know why. These are all about like what your eyebrows would do and your hair. These are fine. If your hair could write a note, what would it say about today? It would say, put that hat back on. I'm not ready for the day. I'm not ready for the day. Put that hat back on your head. Whisper what your shadow would do if it had its own phone. My shadow would probably text a girl and be like, hey, do you want to have sex outside in the middle of the day? If your eyelids could wink independently with attitude, what secrets would they reveal? I don't know. We're moving on from that one, man. If your reflection played a prank on you, what would it be? It would probably just be like smiling the whole time I'm looking in the mirror. It would just be like happy, and I'd be like confused. I'd be like, what the f? Name a crime your socks would commit if no one was watching. Oh man. I don't know, man. A crime that my socks would commit. What the f does that even mean? Name a crime your socks would commit if you weren't watching. What the hell does that even mean? What the f? What would your socks do? I don't know. What would a sock do? Is like, what motivation does a sock have to go commit a crime or do something wrong? You know what a sock would do? It'd probably go look for like his long lost brother that got lost during the last laundry. It's like, where's my brother? You start killing other socks. What shape does happiness have? I've been trying to figure that out for a long time, actually, before I even read these questions. I don't know what the shape of happiness is. I don't know what it sounds like. I don't know what it looks like. Whisper what fog tastes like. What fog? I thought it said frog, and I've eaten frog. Frog is, what does fog? I don't know. It probably tastes like evaporated water, if I had to guess. Name the color of yesterday. Red. Just red. A red day yesterday. What animal is hiding in your shadow? he's still a dog, but he's a puppy, and he just wants someone to be nice to him and like pet him and play with him. He wants to be good and he wants to make other people happy, but he's in the shadow, and one day he'll grow up and he'll realize like, I'm done being a puppy and I'm a dog. If you could hear stars, what do they sound like? They probably would sound like bling. Like on TV when like a cartoon character smiles and it goes, and it has like the ching, like the little shiny sound. Probably that. Name a secret that the wind might be carrying. What the is all these questions are like, what would your sock do if you weren't there? What would your chair do if you were gone? Like, what would your hair do if it were alive? I don't know what any of this, and who, like, it's just like, what the name a secret, what the secret that the wind is carrying is like when I fart and someone's walking behind me, the secret is I farted. Describe the sound of a memory. The sound of my memory, it sounds like somebody crying. That's what it sounds like. What color is the number 7? I think we can all agree that 7 is green. I think we all agree on that. Whisper the feeling of falling asleep. Falling asleep is like you're dozing off and you're losing consciousness and you enter a world that's completely your own. If time had a taste, what would it be? Here we go again with these like crazy if time had a taste, what would it be? I guess a tasting time would be like burnt chicken. It's like, there's elements of goodness in there, but it's burnt, and there's a lot of things to learn for the next time you make that chicken. Okay, this one just, what does a dream weigh? What does a dream weigh? Like the weight of a dream. I don't know, 10 pounds. Probably about 10 pounds. Describe how curiosity smells. I don't know. Okay, I don't even know what that means. What? Describe what the shade of a memory is when you're sleeping. What color is 11? I don't know. If sadness was a weather pattern, what the Oh, this one's good. What sound does a shadow make when it moves? I don't even know. Alright, hold on. There's some other questions from earlier. If you woke up tomorrow and every animal had switch sounds, what would you do? That's a good question. I'd probably just like try to see as many animals as I could that day and see what animals sounded like what. Imagine you step into a painting. Here we go again, man. We're stepping into paintings. Imagine you step into a painting. What kind of painting would you pick? I don't know. You know what painting I would pick? I went to the Guggenheim a couple years ago in New York, and there was just a giant white piece of paper, or a sheet, or I don't know what they're called, but like a giant piece of art, and it was just white, and there was a black dot in the middle, and that's art. I would want to go into that because I would make it a good painting. If thoughts were visible above people's heads like speech bubbles, what would yours say right now? Probably just say, about to go Whole Foods. Probably. If mirrors could keep secrets. If mirrors could keep secrets about what they've seen, what would you want to ask yours? Honestly, I don't live in a great neighborhood, and my apartment was a little bit too easy to get, so I would just go to the mirror and be like, what happened here? Who died? Was there a murder? What were the people like before I moved here? If every time you blink, you teleported to a slightly different universe, how many blinks would it take before you stopped? Wow, okay, if I could blink until I was in a good universe, okay, well then, but then I would just constantly be jumping between universes, how many blinks would it take before you stopped? Probably about one, because I would try to see what was different about this universe. But then if I didn't like, I could just keep blinking. But then it's like, how do I stop blinking? I don't know. Thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure to like and subscribe.